Okay, everybody, it's time for another reading. We are going to do a reading today for the Divine Feminine. And very interesting cards. I've been looking at these cards and I'm seeing a few things in there that are a little bit anomalies, but it was like I kind of understand, where they fit in all of this. So let's get started, and the first card we're going to look at is in the upper left-hand corner. There's a row of 3 at the very top, and on the left-hand side, the first card that we have is the Judgment card, okay? And that's Guinevere. And you can see by looking at this card, we have a very strong, wise, I want to say ruler, but a ruler from a very strong position of the Divine Feminine to be honored by the Divine Masculine. Not only has she the respect of, look at the wildlife, the animal, the dog, looking at her with love, but she's also got behind her a couple of other women, one of which is an older woman, which, gives the wisdom aspect. And of course, we're looking at the castle. We're talking about, I want to say great stability and honor in this particular card. Now, we are using the Goddess Tarot by Chris Wilder. And in her description of what she talks about in the terms of this card is that this card really does represent sovereignty, okay? Also having a lot of confidence in the decisions that are being made, okay? But the meaning of this card in her deck, even more so than anything else, is that there is important decisions coming and there's movement into the next phase of life. Okay, and I want to say that this card to start the reading is extremely interesting to me, because those of you who follow my Facebook page and the work that I'm doing will know that I have recently discovered that there's a very, very good chance we have some kind of a light wave event about to take place very soon. And this card represents that it's time for a major and necessary change in life, okay? It can almost be frightening because of its magnitude, all right? And this particular event is that kind of event, in that it will be felt by so many people and it will affect so many people that it's very significant. But what I want to say is that those of you that have been doing this work, working from, I want to say, this catalytic heart awakening, you've been doing all of this work on the Divine Feminine, that you've actually achieved the confidence of the Queen, Guinevere. You are carrying the confidence and the judgment, the wisdom that will really carry you through and will make you instrumental in this kind of change that is here to take place. So I love this card to start out this reading. Now, if we move to the card directly to the right of that, in the center of the top row, we have, interestingly enough, the Ace of Swords. All right, the Ace of Swords represents wisdom, understanding, development of intelligence. And what we can see by this sword is that it's sticking in the ground right in front of the pyramids, okay? And it's almost, challenging the person who would approach and take this sword to kind of advance into the new abundant realms. It's almost like a beck and call for strength and the The word that comes to me is virility, and I will have to look that word up because I don't even know exactly what it means, but I will look it up. And so let's see what else we see here. What this card really represents, again, in keeping with the Judgment card, is wisdom, all right? Understanding. I would say just, it's the ability to exercise wisdom and discernment, to use words wisely, to be clear, to use solid judgment. So once again, here we are at this new beginning phase very soon. And even I'm looking here at the book really quick, and it talks about the beginning of a cycle of intellectual growth. All right. So here we go, an intellectual growth cycle. And we're at the very beginning of it, which is, you know, it's the beginning of something new. And this definitely has to do with the divine feminine and the powers of the intellect, okay? Because swords are very mental and full of thought. So, all right, so now let's go ahead and let's look to the card immediately to the right of the Ace of Swords. And that is the Six of Pentacles. And what do you know? Here we have, you know, the divine feminine in a position of generosity, okay? She's helping others at this point. So now, at this particular stage, where the divine feminine is she's actually at a place where she has the ability to share her gifts, talents, abilities, skills, love with other people, because she's removed so many of those blocks that she had in her self-knowledge and in her knowing of who she is. So now she's able to help people that are less fortunate. And if you look at some of the predictions of the event, and it talks about the light workers who have been doing this work, and I do believe that those of you who have been doing your work from the catalytic heart awakening standpoint, you are the ones that are going to be helping people who are awakening rapidly with the influx of this new light patterns, okay? So you actually have the ability to do that right now because you're coming from a place of true generosity of your spirit and what you're gifted with and what you came here to do. So that is incredible. These three cards right at the top, boom, 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 all have to do with really putting into operation all of the divine feminine work that you have been doing to help others and to provide the wisdom and the guidance and things of that nature that are needed without the blocks that we had at one point. So now we're going to take a look at the second row of cards, which really is made up of, if you look at it, two very different energy cards. And you'll notice that I put a rose quartz heart between, and I think what I was trying to do was balance the energy of these two cards. But the first card we're going to look at is the one on the left of the heart, and that is the Ten of Staves. And wow, really, what a card this is to appear right where it is, because this is about accumulation of success and creativity. And being a 10, it is the culmination of the venture that began with the One of Staves. And that is, it is success, okay? It is success in a lot of different ways. But again, it's about divine feminine growth, okay? It's affirming that there is much to be received from all of the efforts that have been put into this point. But it's almost like, if you look at the power of the sun, and it's so bright and it's so intense, even though it's setting, it's so vibrant. It's almost a power that is overwhelming. And I want to say again, it's almost like it reminds me of this light event, this energy light event that is very possibly on its way to us. And that can be very overwhelming when you think about the fact that so much of what we've been trying to achieve is like so within reach right now. There might be some of you who are actually feeling the weight of that, and it might not even be on a conscious level, but it might be actually on an unconscious level is what I'm getting, because it is paired with the card right next to it. And I say paired, these two just, I don't know why, but the energy of them seem very connected to me. And that is the card that is the Eight of Swords. And it's the card that's directly to the right of the rose quartz heart. And this card brings with it, you know, symptoms of things like depression, feeling a little bit entrapped as to, you know, the position that you're in and you kind of have to keep going, feeling a little bit like you're the victim, or even, you know, being just a little bit exhausted, being a little bit over the top, being a little bit, I want to say, look at the card. I mean, it's almost like a cage. It's almost like a cage, and I want to say not being able to see out the other side. So where does that fit in with all of this? Well, if you contrast it to, you know, we're getting ready, this culmination of all of the efforts. We've been waiting for this period of time, folks. We've been waiting for this period of time to start to manifest. And actually, many of us are getting, it's almost like the message that's coming about this possible coming event is actually coming to sort of soothe this energy that we've been feeling, because it's like, how much longer can I keep going? How much more can I do? It's that feeling of, I've done so much clearing, I've done so much work, and yet where is this leading? Because there's so many of us that have been in a position where we're like, I really don't want to do this anymore. Okay, I get it. I'm here. I feel better about myself. I'm not needy of my connection. I'm in a more powerful state of being. But it's also like there's this underlying knowledge that you know that you came for something so much bigger than a relationship. You came here for something so much bigger than that. And I think that the path of the twin flames, the path of the catalytic heart awakening, those particular paths actually take you so off the path that you started on, which is, hey, I came here to do something pretty important. You're like, whoa, what happened? But all of a sudden, because you're getting through that path and you're getting on the other side of it, you're like, oh my God, there's something bigger here. And that's why I think that the reports of something like this event, and I'm going to do a video about the event from my own perspective, and talk about some of the synchronicities of that. But this right here, this energy, that's why this energy is here, and that's why this card is here. We've got so many powerful energies, I want to say, above that, lying above the fold. All of these goddess cards of strength and giving of your wisdom and your knowledge and your power to lead people when this happens. But here's that Eight of Swords. It's like some of you are waking up and going, what's the event? And if you haven't heard about the event, you will in this reading, right? So you're going to want to know more about it. Well, you're going to find more about it. What's interesting is that so many people have been finding out about it all at the same time, and we've all been going, oh, you heard about it too. Oh, you heard about it too. Oh, you saw that video too. Wow, 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 coming from all over. So I think that that is an answer to this Eight of Swords energy that the Divine Feminine has been feeling. And I think that if you go to the card directly beneath, it's interesting, there's a cross here. You've got the swords, all right, the Ace of Swords above the rose quartz, and then to the left and right is the Ten of Staves and the Eight of Swords, which is that overwhelmed feeling. And what is this card on the bottom? It's In this deck, it's the Temptation card. Now we're talking about the greenish colored card that's right below the rose quartz heart. And the Temptation card is the devil in the traditional tarot deck. All right. So here we go. We are dealing with energies of inner turmoil. All right. I want to say there is almost like this temptation to have dropped into a vibration of illusion, or being a little bit obsessed with the fact that, you know, you're not getting where you want to be, or how overwhelming things can be. And some of you are actually getting lulled back into, I want to say, the craving for the connection. If you haven't been in contact, you know, some of you might actually be saying, I really want to be in contact with this person. It's that temptation to fall back into the old energies of need, possibly. It may also just be a little bit of the calling of that energy to distract you, because you're really, really, truly waiting for something to happen. So some of you might actually, in this pause period, some of you might actually be, I want to say, digging in to old stuff. And I know that that is true for me. I think that I will cover that in a video that has to do with the event that, you know, I'm really seriously considering doing this weekend. Because as I look at, you know, where we're headed with all of this major shift getting ready to happen, and how that will look, I'm not really sure yet. There's a lot of reports coming in, and we'll talk about that in another video. But it's almost like it's necessary to go to the depths, to uncover those layers, that if there's anything blocking you at all from your, I want to say, pure channel, your pure ability to hold light, it's coming up now. And it's surfacing in maybe addictions, food addictions. Maybe some of you are craving foods that maybe aren't the best for you. Maybe some of you are feeling a little bit of a lack of control. Maybe some of you feel a little bit of envious of other people who seem to maybe be handling it a little bit better than you. Because at this point, this is the root of all of this reading right here. The root is, it's almost like you look at the Eight of Swords, and that's the weak point. It's like you're waiting, and while you're waiting, you're tempted. But I want to say the really, really encouraging part is that the information that is being delivered to us right now, and it's funny, I've seen readings going back to 2 years ago from someone I actually had a reading with, who's going into the higher self 2 years ago and talking about this event. I think that the event right now is becoming, it's a delivery to us. It's being delivered to everyone. I have totally unrelated people to this community that have been delivered it and actually showed up with the same video I saw, which started me in this whole thing. So this is that root of the root problem right here is we've been waiting for the delivery of something, and it's almost like the information about this event is being delivered to get to the root of the problem. And then let's see what's delivered up as the outcome, because the outcome card is the card at the top, which is sitting upright, right above the Ace of Swords, and that is the Three of Pentacles. You know what, before I do that, I want to back up, because when I first pulled these cards, I pulled a clarifier card. It's the card, it is from the Ascended Master that by Doreen Virtue, pardon me. And I usually pull a couple cards to find out where we're at. That's the card you see at the bottom left, and the in the bottom right is, you know, where we're going. But when I saw the Temptation and the Eight of Swords cards come up, Temptation being is that the Devil card? Hang on just a minute, I'm sitting here thinking. My goodness, I had to check that for a moment. I thought that's what it was. But anyways, I pulled a card to clarify, and this one came flying out. So I knew it was a really strong card as clarifier. And that has come out of the closet. Okay? It's kind of like this depression and this, I want to say, this darker aspect of yourself, this devil card, this whatever it is you're trying to hide from yourself. And this is something I experienced firsthand. It is time for that energy to come out of the closet because it's blocking you. All right. And that's a very important, I'm so glad I saw that when I did, because that is this whole thing, us moving into the cards that we have at the top, the Judgment card, the Ace of Swords, the Six of Pentacles, even the Ten of Staves, with the culmination of all of our efforts and going into this new space. It's like this piece of you that if it's hidden and it's coming in any of these ways that we just talked about, you'd be well versed to go into some meditation and see if you can't figure out where it's coming from. Ask yourself some questions in meditation. Why do I feel depressed? Why am I craving these foods? Why do I feel envious of this person? Try to get to the bottom of it so that you can, in essence, put a spotlight on some of those things that may still be lurking in the background. Because, man, when this wave of light hits the planet, you are going to want to be grabbing onto that light and anchoring it into the planet, because that's why you've been doing this work in the first place. I was kind of told, and I'm wondering if this was something that someone communicated or if it was something that I was shown, but it's almost like the light would go over the planet instead of come onto the planet and sink into the planet if we didn't have all of these acupuncture points being us as the pillars of light, us as the filaments, if you will, of acupuncture into the planet. We are bringing this light in. It's going to be amazing, but we need to be clear. So this come out of the closet is see if you can't figure out what it is that's keeping you in this, I want to say, a little bit lower vibrational state, so that you can return back up to that very light, loving place. And if you are in that light, loving place, by all means, stay there, because these cards don't apply to you. Stay there, be full of love, be full of light, be the change, live every moment in the moment of now. And that is exactly what you need to be doing. There's nothing else to do right now except hold that light frequency. Now let's go into the Three of Pentacles energy. And wow, what a culmination of this whole reading that this is, because this card is very representative of building material manifestation. Look at all the work we've done to bring forth this event that is about to happen. This shift and change that is happening, whether it happens in a one moment or whether it happens over a series of moments, it doesn't matter. We are literally coming up to this beautiful palace, all right, with these gold, beautiful pentacles, all right? And it is a beautiful sight, okay? And this is like a palace which symbolizes all of the building that we've done to this point. It's a material manifestation of all of the things that have been done, okay? It's constructive. It's a very constructive energy. It deals with all different aspects of our lives: career, relationship, home. It even represents, I'm looking at this book, Alchemy, okay? Alchemy, I'm looking right here, and it's saying alchemy turning base energy into gold, all right? We are about to do that on the planet, all right? We are about to be cooperating with others in such a grand venture that the world is never going to be the same again, okay? So what this symbolizes is the goal that we're all working towards, that we set in our hearts and in our minds and in our knowledge. This is where we're headed now. Okay, we're headed to this new place on the planet where it's transforming and creating something brand new. So this is a fantastic reading for the Divine Feminine. And first of all, the card to the left at the bottom, and again, this is the Ascended Master deck from Doreen Virtue. We've got the Horus card. You are seeing the situation accurately. I take that to mean that this information in this reading is extremely accurate. Okay? Anything that you're seeing in this reading that applies to you, you are seeing this very accurately. That's how this this is how this plays out in this reading. And if you go to the right hand card on the bottom, it's an Apollo card, and it's focus upon your strengths. Okay? In this period of change, we all came with some specific strengths. We have worked really hard, even working on particular templates within the catalytic relationship, catalytic connection experience. We've been working on specific familial templates. We've been drawn together with others who are working on these templates with us in different varieties. Okay? Right now, get ready, because your strengths and what you've been learning all this time, which you've been teaching and learning and teaching, is now going to be how you help the planet. Okay? As this new energy comes in, you're going to be focusing upon the strengths that you have, like Apollo. And you've got, see, this card with him has him holding this beautiful light. Think about, it's almost, that's funny, because that light coming in of the light that he's holding, it, to me, it represents this light wave that is going to be hitting the planet. And it is bringing with it the power and the strength of Apollo. And that is the strength that you have to do what you came here to do, and to be what you are in your authentic self. And where all this leads is to a better world, a world that is right side up, a world that is the new loving relationship template model. And it isn't just that, it is the whole divine feminine masculine balance, which you have helped to master and bring onto the planet at this time. And it's going to shift everything. So, job well done. To this point, you have done amazingly well. All I can say is if you've got some pieces that you're experiencing some of this heaviness, this negative energy, this darker stuff, go look for it now. Just do whatever you got to do to get to the bottom of it. Seek help from your friends. There's so many of us all that are in this situation together. Seek help. Work on meditating. Ask the hard questions. Come out of the closet with whatever it is that's holding you back from being an absolute clear channel of this brilliant light that's about to come. And anyways, what a powerful message, I think, for all of us. My name is Debbie DuBois. I have a website, True Sacred Union. I have been on the catalytic heart awakening path for 5 years, and really consider myself a graduate of this path, and that I am in union in all ways that matter. I am a web designer by trade. Anyone have any need for web design services, please let me know. That's what I do for my creative expression, if you will. This is another calling I have, which is to bring forth information from the spiritual side. I'm definitely a light bearer, a way shower, and I'm really here holding the light during this period of time. I have a couple Facebook groups. I have True Sacred Union as my business page, and then I have True Sacred Union, the group, Raising Vibrational Frequencies, the group, and another group called What on Earth 2018. I think you're going to be seeing a lot more stuff on this event, and I'll be placing it everywhere on all of those groups, so I would love if you would follow me. I welcome any quotes, comments below. If you don't mind, please share this video if you feel that it can be of value to someone. I'm not widely sharing my stuff on Facebook. I'm pretty much sharing it to my small market, and I am counting on people sharing it if they feel it's of value. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that Facebook and YouTube, they're doing a lot of funky algorithms, and every time I turn around, it's like I'll share something to my own group and comment and it'll say it's spam. So it's craziness, but I just feel the need to get this information to you. If you feel it will help someone, please do share it. If you have any questions, I welcome them below. And I'm going to be putting out this afternoon also, I'm doing the Divine Masculine reading. I hope that you'll look for it. And also look for the video that I'm going to be doing on the event. I have been posting about it in my groups. I'm not the only one. And I just am going to bring my own knowing for my own source connection on what I'm receiving. So anyways, thank you so much for joining me. I love you all, and I look forward to bringing you more information in the future. Namaste.